market turns upside down. He makes a lot of fantastic points here. He talked about the increase in cost. He talks about the increase in the number of trucks on the road. We all know about the cost, but not many people look at what the total count of tractors are from fleets authorized for hire. So he talks about how there's been about a 10% increase during a specific period of time that he looks back. I guess he wrote that article back earlier in 2022 from 1.6 million total tractors of fleets from authorized for hire to basically 1.77 million. Since the pandemic began, the number of dispatchable trucks in the for-hire trucking market, which is anybody able to haul a load, is up approximately 10%. Since truck rates are contingent upon the balance of supply and demand, if the volumes were to drop back to pre-pandemic levels, which we are seeing some of that, with far more capacity of trucks in the market, the rates would collapse. I do believe that. I also kind of have a counterpoint to that. If we continue to have any sort of ratio where we have more loads than we do trucks, that there will be some sustainability to life. Now, he does go on to talk about how rates have increased, what the cost of the increase is in the equipment and everything else. And this is what is worrisome. And he says that exactly. But even more worrisome is that the operating expense of carriers is much higher today than it was before COVID. FreightWaves estimates that the operating expenses for nearly all carriers have surged as much as 38 cents per mile over pre-COVID level. This calculation only includes maintenance, insurance, and fuel costs, and not any other expenses like equipment cost or cost of lending and money, which is also predicted to go up. The calculation does not include driver wages, equipment purchase, or finance, which could nearly have doubled to increase the amount of the operating expenses, which means that it could be as high as 72 cents per mile higher than it was in pre-pandemic. So if we ever get back to the same rates we had pre-pandemic, even fuel adjusted, we're going to be in a significant hurt inside this market. But we have to look at where those trucks came from and what type of trucks are in that market. If we've had a 10% increase in the trucks inside the market and 1 million trucks have entered the road, right? What are they? Have they purchased their truck? Are they leased trucks? Pre-pandemic, when we had Penske and Ryder, those guys did not have 100% occupancy. They were not running trucks out over 500,000 miles on a regular basis because they could turn them over and get another truck at a significantly close cost to what they had the year prior. Truck costs have increased. We'll also find that as the market collapses, the first guys to get out are the guys that don't have anything tied to it. If my mortgage is tied to a note that I signed on my truck, I'm sticking around and I'm paying that truck off. And I'm going to go through hell or high water to make sure that happens. If I'm in a lease truck and I'm going to walk away, guess what? I'm going to walk away because I can always go for somebody that's going to guarantee me money with a fitted contract rate, which that market, as we say, is still elevated, as opposed to try to bang around on my own. So the one thing we want to do is keep our overheads light. If we have every other cost increasing, if our costs have gone up 38 or 72 or $1.50 a mile, depending on how you run, we need to make sure we cut back on our spending.